Have you ever wanted to be Indiana Jones? Explore dark, spooky caves in search of priceless treasure? Well, now you can. You need to play 1001 Spikes. If you haven't heard of this game yet, you are missing out. This game started on the Xbox Live Arcade, but now has gotten a shiny new remodel with developer Nicalis getting involved. Unlike most games, you start with 1001 lives, and believe me when I say you're going to die. A lot. You go through various levels with all sorts of traps and deadly scorpions, and not to mention spikes. Tons and tons of spikes. Like 1001 spikes. The game feels kind of like Super Meat Boy by having really fast respawns and relatively small levels to get through, but it also feels like I Want to Be the Guy because there's a lot of tricks and traps that will surprise kill you the first time you find them. If you're into those games, this is seriously right up your alley. The graphic style and music are awesome, but it was actually the mechanics that sold me on this game. Everything feels incredibly responsive. I would say it feels even better than Super Meat Boy in that regard. You have a small jump and a big jump, which are two different buttons. At first this seemed odd to me and took a little bit to get used to, but once you see the level design, it makes a lot of sense. We'll talk about that in a second. You can also throw knives to stop arrow traps and slice through enemies if you press forward and the knife button. That's really all there is to it. The goal in every level is to find the key, then reach the exit, but the challenge comes all in memorization. Each level is somewhat short, but it's chocked full of death traps just waiting for you to make one wrong step. The game does a great job of introducing different elements a little at a time and increasing the difficulty with them. But don't worry, it gets ridiculously hard pretty quick. Now most people would see a game like this and call it masochism or slowly slitting my wrists until I die from blood loss. But the truth is, all this game does is makes you thirst for more. Each level may take you anywhere from 10 to 100 attempts, but each stage you complete is a major triumph and gives you a sense of relief and accomplishment, all rolled into one shot of adrenaline. There's a quick victory screen, but it's just short enough that you have to be put right back on your toes immediately as the next level starts. Each level's design is phenomenal. So phenomenal, in fact, that there might be a good game design episode about this game in the future, but I'll give you the short version here. You learn pretty quickly the difference between your two jump arcs and use the best jump for each situation presented to you. Even though some deaths might feel cheap, it doesn't waste any of your time, it just throws you right back into the action to try again. You'll get frustrated, believe me, but it's all worth it when you finally beat that level that gave you so much trouble. Each stage is creative and teaches you new things as you play, like how some spikes show up on timed intervals, but some react to you stepping on them, kinda like proximity mines and remote mines in GoldenEye. Arrow traps also behave in the same way. You can push or even break some blocks, and you start to recognize ones that look different after a while. Over time you'll notice that each level is based on a grid, and this helps you determine the best way to travel through this onslaught of death. 1001 Spikes never feels like your time is wasted or like the game is unfair, even though it totally is sometimes. And I don't really know how they do it, but they just do. This game also has great atmosphere. At the end of each world, there will be one level with no obstacles. You just have to jump your way to the ancient artifact and claim your prize. The music in these end levels is always spooky and slow, which really makes you feel like you're in a dark and scary temple. Whenever you collect a key in a level, the music will get faster and louder, making you feel pumped to finish strong, like telling you you're almost there. You really start to feel a connection with your character after a while because you've been through so much together. It's really something else. Finally, there's a ton of extra content in this game too. There's a hidden skull to find in every level for extra challenge, and several unlockable characters with different abilities, which makes replaying the game a blast because you can try out completely different strategies. Once you beat the regular game, there's an entirely new set of levels placed in frosty Antarctica, and this section is just as long as the original game. That's awesome! I say this a lot, but I would take a game that gives you a memorable experience over length of time played any day. It holds so much more value to me because I know it gave me an emotional reaction. 1001 Spikes somehow takes a game idea that should be incredibly frustrating and rage-inducing and makes me still want to retry each level over and over again until I conquer that stupid arrow trap that gets me every time! I can't recommend this game enough. Please go give it a whirl yourself. You won't be sorry. I'm Snowman, and thanks for watching.